Hey there, Dr. Chris Heasley here, Assistant Professor at St. Joseph's University. As you may have noticed, language is very important in both personal and professional work settings. One of the areas I research is terminology in gender minoritized communities. It has been said that language and terminology in the LGBTQIA community is one of the fastest growing. So I'm going to share 4 important terms that you can add to your knowledge playbook for gender equity, inclusion, and diversity work. Let's get started. The first is heteronormativity. Heteronormativity is a social assumption that there are really only 2 genders, that being man or male and woman or females. Within this assumption, there are really strict hierarchical rules for those different gender roles, and it certainly lies within a binary. The other thing that's important to note is that within this heteronormative assumption is that there's really only one normal orientation for sexuality, and that is heterosexuality, which is where men are romantically interested in women and vice versa, women are interested in men. You can see that in terms of gender identity and gender minoritized communities, this is a pretty rigid and strict terminology that is often used to describe those who have power or who are most privileged. The next term I'm going to share with you is cis, often used to describe cisgender, cis man, cis woman. Cis, coming from the Latin meaning same, means same gender, same man, same woman. And in terms of how it's used in gender communities, is an adjective to describe somebody whose assigned sex is the same as they identify themselves in terms of their psychological gender identity. So if, for an example, I was assigned male at birth and I identify as a man, they are the same. So I would be a cisgendered man, or you can also refer to me as a cis man. The third term I want to share with you is called dead naming. Dead naming is the use of a name that a person no longer wishes to have associated with themselves. Within the gender minoritized community, dead naming is when one uses a given or birth name instead of the chosen name that the individual has asked to be called. For example, if we have an assigned female whose birth or given name is Sarah and wishes to be called James, dead naming would be referring to that person as Sarah rather than their new chosen name, James. The fourth term I wish to share with you is allyship. Allyship isn't something you choose. Allyship is something that's given to you by a community who's marginalized or underrepresented. Allyship is when you use your privilege or power to help somebody else who is from an underrepresented community. In the gender minoritized community, allyship might look like actions or voice being used to help lift up and bring awareness to change policy that might then help somebody in that community be able to have a better, more equitable life experience. So these are 4 words that I hope help you as, again, you begin to build your knapsack of knowledge about gender identity. Bye now.